in the cloud. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started. Let me share my screen. Um, you can see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good evening and good afternoon, everyone, depending upon the time zones that you have
So
joined from.
before that, are you sharing the slide or the Windows desktop? Uh,
I'm sharing the screen. You can see the deck.
no.
I can
Nadrin?
see, not the deck. I can see the desktop. Your
Let
Windows
me
desktop. Yeah.
do it again. There. Ah, I shared the wrong. Now
Yep.
you can see the deck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is in the series of Safe series. We are here now. So far, we have covered all of these. I don't know, something got jumbled up over here. So these are the topics that we have covered, and today we are doing WSGF, and these are the couple of topics which are in the pipeline in the subsequent sessions. Okay, so today is the agenda is WSGF, weighted shortest job first. That's the full form of it. We'll see what is the definition of WSGF, what are the various characteristics of WSGF, and get into a bit more details as to how WSGF is uh, uh, calculated and what are the details of what all goes into calculating WSGF. And then we'll just show a calculator how it is done and how do you enter values and things like that. And then finally, one thing that I have tried out is verification of WSGF as a concept. So it is a bit interesting thing that you'll see the proof of uh, WSGF. Okay, this comes from WSGF was primarily Don Renestron is a thinker in the product space. So he says if you got to quantify only one thing, then you might as well quantify cost of delay. So that is what. And yes, as we all know, Safe picks up all the good stuff from all over from everyone. So WSGF is coming from his book. As I mentioned earlier, the full form is weighted shortest job first. So it's basically a prioritization technique to prioritize either the features, capabilities, or epics to produce maximum economic benefit. By the way, what are the techniques that you are currently using in your teams? If you can put it in the chat, if you're using WSJF, fine. Otherwise, what are the other techniques that you are using? Can I request all of you to put it in the chat just to get a perspective of what techniques are using? And if you are not using any technique, so that's also fine. Moscow, yeah. If people don't know what Moscow is, must have, should have, could have, won't have. Yeah. Any other techniques? Anyone? I'm looking out for one common technique. Stack ranking, yeah. Uh, Pradeep, when you say stack ranking, would you say just would you mean by prioritization? If I can, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Weighted average. Yeah. Okay. So yes, these are all good techniques, but the underlying essence behind it is we have to critically think: is it really scientific, or is it just based on someone's thoughts, or if I can use the word whims and fancies, or if I can say whoever is the most powerful person, his or her idea gets the prioritization. So you might want to think about that. So is this, so is it a scientific way, or it is more lean, or inclined towards the subjectivity to it, or the emotional aspect or the attachment to that particular topic? So you might want to just give it a thought. WSGF is more of a scientific way. So considering all the factors, you'll see about it in a bit more detail. What are the various characteristics of WSGF? One is it gives an economic view. So it is just not like, as I mentioned earlier, it is not about someone's favoritism or whims and fancies, or the hierarchy in the organization. His or her idea gets, no. It takes the economic view, so that it can bring out the maximum value with the least amount of cost and the risk involved amongst the topics or the themes or the epics that is on the table for the organization to choose from. So it takes an economic view, and it ignores sunk cost. What do we mean by sunk cost? Sunk cost is basically what is already invested and it cannot be retrieved back. So it ignores sunk cost. So in layman's term, it is spilt milk. We can't do anything about the spilt milk. So it ignores sunk cost. And yes, as mentioned earlier, it focuses on cost of delay. What all gets into calculating cost of delay, we'll see it in a minute. And it gives a it is a technique to compare various opportunities or epics or themes, whatever, with which has got varied valued and value and urgency. So there could be one topic which is of certain value, while there could be another topic or a theme which is of a lesser value but a higher urgency. How do we compare these two? So it gives us that perspective. It gives us uh, this technique uses both of them, as well as the duration that each of these topics need to get accomplished. Someone who's not talking, can you go on mute, please? Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, scaled agile framework. SAFe suggests to use WSGF at the feature level. So using this technique at a story level would be an overkill. So it should be above the story, either at the feature or epic and a theme, and at that level. Using it at a story level would be a overkill. And yes, when we say duration, so it doesn't mean that okay, we exactly know, okay, this feature will take 8 months to accomplish or 12 months to accomplish. No, it doesn't mean that. It means job size. What do we mean by job size? We'll see. So so when we say duration, don't take it for in literal terms as duration. Don't take it that way. And yes, as we it is recommended to use Fibonacci series. uh, most of you would be familiar with using Fibonacci series for your sizing of stories, do you using Poker and all. So the same thing is recommended over here as well. And yes, higher the score, higher the priority of the particular topic. Towards the end, we'll see a mathematical explanation to this, why we should choose the highest topic first, the topic with the highest score first. What happens if we use it the other way around? We'll see that mathematically. Well, so this is a formula. So cost of delay divided by duration. So I have an cute acronym for this, CD3. You're taking the first letter of all these words. Cost of delay divided by duration. So it would help you to recollect it. So just recollect CD3. Now, what all gets into cost of delay? Cost of delay consists of three aspects: business value, time criticality, and risk reduction or opportunity enablement. I repeat, business value, time criticality, plus risk reduction or opportunity enablement. So what is business value? So these are the questions that you need to answer to yourself when we assign a value to it. So is this something that the users are really desperate for, or what is the potential negative impact if it is not done now, and if you do it later, what is the impact of it, or what would be the cost on the market share and the profitability if we don't do this particular theme, or this particular, we don't take up this particular topic. So these are the pointers which we should start answering or debating on when we think about assigning a value to the business value. And of course, whichever we feel is the least gets a 1. Rest all is relative to it. Once again here, for all of us who are familiar with the relative sizing, when we use relative sizing, story pointing, the same thing applies here. It's not an absolute number. So it is in relation to the 1, which is, we all decide that it is a 1, and everything else is in relation to it. It's relative. And why relative? We all know we humans are bad at absolute estimates, but we all can do, or we all are good at relative sizing or relative comparison. So that's why the same concept applies over here as well. The next element which gets into calculating cost of delay is time criticality. So the questions that we need to answer is, how quickly do we need to launch this feature? For example, if there's a Black Friday sale coming, so we know that how quickly we need to launch, or if there's a market, or if there's an expo, or if there's a promise that has been done to the market. So how quickly we need to do? Will there be a value delay over time? So if there are certain things which, like for example, the holiday season, generally the Christmas season, if you don't launch a particular product during that holiday season, and even if you launch it in January, it's gone. So what is the decay over time? And are we at the verge of losing revenue if we don't implement it now? So these are the critical, these are the aspects this is around which we need to debate, and given while we are giving a number around time criticality. The same thing applies over here. Whichever is the least critical gets a 1, rest all is relative to it. The next is, the third element is risk reduction or opportunity enablement. By implementing this, is there a chances of we reducing a potential risk throughout the value stream? So the end-to-end value stream, is there something that we can do, or if we do this, if there's a potential risk that can be reduced, or would it positively impact any of the quality aspects to it, or is there a probability of capturing new markets, new avenues? So these are the questions that we need to answer while we give a number to risk reduction and opportunity element. Again, the least, the one that has the least for reducing the risk gets a 1, or whichever has the least for the opportunity element gets a 1. Rest all is in relation to it. Now coming to duration, how do we calculate duration? Because here we are talking of giving duration at the feature level or epic and a theme, while we don't even know the complete details of what gets into this feature or epic or topic. We don't even know who's going to work on it. We don't even know the skill sets that is required to deliver it. Everything is hazy. We just have got no clue. So it becomes very difficult to determine a duration. So that's when I told earlier. So you can't, it doesn't mean that we have to give a number in terms of months, 8 months, 10 months. So don't confuse it for it. So how do we go about giving this? So it's known as a job size as a proxy. So you make some assumptions. Assume that you have fixed resources and you use Fibonacci series and use relative numbering. I'm using the word numbering in terms of sizing. Relative numbering here as well. For example, this is the example that is given there in the books. So if you are the only one who's mowing the lawn and the front yard is 3 times bigger than the backyard, it is going to be it's going to take 3 times longer. It's just that. So the assumption is the same equipment that is used and the same manpower that is there that can be used there. So here we are not telling it is 3 it will take 3 hours or 6 hours. If this is 3 times more than the other one, so it will take 3 times more. So that's about it. So we use job size as a proxy. I'll take a pause for any questions before I explain the technique.
So Mahendra, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
So when we say this business value, is it the planned value or actual value being measured?
You'll see that. So once again, it is just a number. This is Sri Nagesh, is it? Sorry, who is this? Sri Nagesh, is it?
Yes, Mahendra.
Yeah. Sri Nagesh. So it's
Yes,
just a number.
Nagesh.
So see, when we do story point, we just give a number as 2-pointer or 3-pointer story. So that doesn't mean it is 16 hours or 2 days or 3 days. No, it is unitless. The same thing is over here, Sri Nagesh. So it has got nothing to do with the dollar value, if that is what you are asking. So it is just a number in the air which is unitless. We'll see that when we do the practicals, when I explain in the next slide, Sri Nagesh.
Sure. Actually, see, my doubt is like while working in PA objectives, predictability measure, there the measured value, actual value versus measured value. This is nothing to do with that one, right?
No.
Yeah.
This is nothing to do. Oh, okay. Sorry. Now I get it. There you give. So for people who didn't get that question, when we do a PA planning, the business owner assigns a number to the feature that is picked up in the PA planning in the range of 1 to 10. So, okay, this feature is of business value 6, 7, 8, and things like that. And at the end of the PA, the business owner will tell, okay, when we started 3 months ago, this was given 6 points as business value. We have achieved 6 out of 6, or we have achieved 4 out of 6. That is what that is what Sri Nagesh is referring to. No, Sri Nagesh, that is not this. So this is just a number for this particular epic.
Good. Thanks, Mahendra.
Any other questions? Anyone?
So actually, is it done a month before PA planning, Mahendra? Sri Nagesh here again.
It depends. It's at the right opportunity wherein you have we got to make this particular decision. You go ahead and do it, Sri Nagesh. There's no fixed thing. Okay, you should do it at so and so time. Whenever the product management team and all the required stakeholders are at a right point to take this decision, you got to use this. You just do this, Sri Nagesh.
So is it like pre-planning, pre-PA planning, 2 weeks before a prioritization workshop kind of thing? I think it takes about 1 hour, right? 1 hour to do this activity.
To answer to your question, it has got nothing to do with the schedule of the PI, if we can put it that way. So it could be maybe. So what you're referring to is the pre-PI planning checklist and pre-PI planning preparation that we do maybe 1 or 2 weeks prior to the PI. So this particular prioritization technique can be applied much before that. So it can be applied at the epic level also.
Got it. Yes, you're right. Yes.
So there's no correlation to the scheduling of the PI, just to answer it that way. Okay, I guess no other questions. So let's. So this is what is the. So let's assume I just have 4 items out here: portfolio item 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So what we, as mentioned earlier, the cost of delay is business value plus time criticality plus risk reduction or opportunity enablement divided by job size. So first we'll assign column wise. So this is very important. You should not be doing this row wise. The reason is you have to assign a number 1 to any one of these, and in relation to this, where does the other item stand in terms of business value. For example, item number 2, we all decide, we all sit into a workshop, we all decide, okay, item number 2 is 1. Then we do the normal poker thing using Fibonacci series. In relation to this looks like a 5 in terms of business value by answering those questions that we discussed earlier. And this looks like a 8 pointer. So you have to fill it up column wise. The same thing applies for time criticality. Okay, item number 2 is 1. It is the least critical. In relation to that, how does the other items stand? You give a number. Use Fibonacci series. The same with risk reduction or opportunity enablement. Use the questions that we, and whatever is relevant. Those are just indicative questions or topics that around which you can facilitate that discussion. You assign the numbers to this. Then job size, the same thing. Whichever is the least duration, give that as a 1. And in relation to that, have a debate, discussion, use historical data, make some assumptions, and assign numbers. Now rest all is just math. Cost of delay is equal to A plus B plus C. A plus B plus C. Now WSJF is E divided by D. That is cost of delay divided by job size. After doing this, it turns out that portfolio item 3 is getting the highest value, while this one has got the second highest, third highest, and fourth highest. So the sequence of you choosing these items should be 3, 1, 2, and 4. That should be the sequence. I'll take a pause for any questions.
Mahendra, Jyoti Ranjan here. So
Yeah,
just
Jyoti.
wanted to check this whatever you have given the numbers 1, 3, 5 for the Fibonacci series. This first number, I can say it is a kind of a reference number or anchor number, right? Or like we used to define, yeah.
Hey.
So
my
let me maybe finish it, then maybe you can explain. So in the first column, user business value, you assume yes, this feature is going to add this much value. So you decided, you have given the anchor number, or maybe the story point is 1, right? So I'll consider it as a story point. So you take a reference and you consider maybe portfolio item 1 will take maybe 5 story points, or portfolio 4 may take 8 story points, but your anchor story point or anchor reference story point is 1, right? That's right.
Yeah, so it is not a story point here, Jyoti Ranjan. So that is, so it is just a number in the air. So
Okay.
it is not story points. So I gave example of story pointing because we are all familiar to it. The same technique we are using here. So it doesn't mean that
even I considered the same thing, but just to explain, just my understanding. Yeah. So then whenever you are going to the next column, time criticality, can you maybe give some hints? What does the time criticality means? So
okay, so this is what is time criticality. How quickly do we need to launch this feature, or if we launch it at a later time, would there be a decay in that value? Or if we don't launch it now, are we losing any revenue? So these are all indicative points
Okay.
on
Okay.
which we have to decide on the number that we need to give for time criticality, Jyotiranjan.
Okay. Okay. Can you go back to that slide, WSJ? Yeah. So again, so you are taking reference from the first column, or again it will be a kind of independent column where you are
Independent,
again independent, right? So
independent again.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes whatever you have given the reference number portfolio item 2, maybe a time criticality wise, maybe it may go to maybe 8 or maybe 5.
Yeah. You're very right. So in this example, I've probably given it 1. So for time criticality, see, if you see portfolio item 4 is also 1. So while the business value was 8, that's what you're telling, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah. So item 1 could be 4, and based on the discussion that all the participants have, for item number 2, it could be 5, it could be 8, it could be 13, it can be anything.
higher is the number in the business value. Example 1 and 8, right? So more is the
feature which has the least value gets a 1.
okay.
The rest is relative to it.
No, I'm just asking. So if it's the higher value, then it has more preference and more business value.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So in this
Differences
case,
will come up once you reach to your WSJ value, then you will come into which one will be your first preferred item. But you need to first independently capture that, okay, what is the business value compared with the least one. You will start with the least valued item. And this is again goes in a Fibonacci series, that whatever you think is the lowest business value, start with that, give it 1, and then you will comparatively give the other business value. And it again, over here, we don't go for the accuracy, rather we go for a consistency. So to bring up that consistency, we go in a Fibonacci series instead of going into an accurate business value. We don't want that. And that's where we got, okay, business value wise, something is coming up 5. The time criticality may be less or small. That is the independent calculations that we'll be doing on the time criticality.
Correct. Yeah, I understood. So higher is the value, higher is the number, then business highest is the business value. I'm going independent column wise, and time criticality is also it is same. Higher is the number, time criticality is also it is more, right?
Yes. So time criticality, the feature which is least critical gets a 1.
Okay.
And the others in relation to it.
Yeah,
right.
got it, Mahendra. Thanks, Mahendra. Thanks, Niladri.
Yeah. Any other clarifications?
Mahendra, Satish here.
Yes, Satish.
Okay, so Mahendra, one question. Since this WFJF is used at epic level or at program level and other things, may not be at user story level. So how is this? So for example, right, when I do de-splitting, wherein this epic has been drilled down, broken down into features and everything. Now let's assume you have a C, okay, portfolio item number C, which is on top priority based on the score, okay, and the item number 1 is the second priority. But when I split that, okay, my C can be split into say 5 or 6 items. My 1 can be split into 5 or 6 items. When we do that kind of a detailing, should we consider the same parameter and do a kind of prioritization? Because at that time we may not think through this item, right? So how it has been, should we track it or how it should be happening?
Okay, if I can, it was quite a lengthy and you were breaking up a bit in between, Satish. So let me repeat. So what you're asking is, let's assume two portfolio, item number 1 and item number 4. So between item number 1 and item number 4, okay. So what here we're doing, item number 3 is of the top priority. So because it has got a WSJF as the highest number as 6.67. So the second topmost one is item number 1. So you are telling when we break up item number 3 into multiple stories, how do you prioritize those stories? Did I get it right?
Correct.
Yeah. So now the point is the entire the focus for the entire product or for the company is item number 3. Now you break up this item number 3 into multiple stories. Now in those stories you can think of, okay, these are the stories which will be part of my release 1, release 2. This will constitute my MVP. So this is all about that product thinking and having that domain and the market focus, Satish. So that is what the product owners and the product managers need to arrive at. Okay, now that all of us have decided that we'll go with portfolio item 3. Now within that, when we start splitting, what is it that we can go to the market at the earliest? So decide your MMF or MVP. Did that answer, Satish?
Yeah, so correct, Mahendra, correct. So my only question is, see, right now, in our catalog, see, we are not using WSGF for now. Okay. I'll be straight and blunt that we are not using it. We are just using Masco, and as you rightly said, it is all based on whoever is powerful, whoever is more voicey, whoever is more demanding, that comes up on top. Because I have multiple POs from client side, that is what is happening now. I don't deny, 100% accepted. That is how it is happening now. But my question is, so when I start using WSGF, so I should have kind of 2 columns wherein one for this WSGF. Then when I go in the splitting this epics, I should have one more subcategory against this WSGF itself. Is my understanding right?
It depends on how you want to do it. So now that the entire program has decided that we'll pick up portfolio item 3, now after you split it, you can have it however you want. So
Okay.
whether you use Jira and move it up and down, or you give a priority number, use Masco, it depends. But at
Okay.
the item or the epic level, we advocate that we should use WSGF. And the very reason why we should use WSGF is so that it takes away the bias. It takes away these, whatever you just told, the whoever has got the loudest voice and the influence, and it takes away that bias. Point number 1. Point number 2 is it becomes easy to negotiate amongst the various stakeholders. For example, all of us are belonging to the same company, one organization. This item 1 is a pet of person 1, item 2 is a pet of person 2, person 3,
Correct.
person 4. How do we get all of them to a talking table so that we can think, or get to a position wherein all of us can think what is the most beneficial for us as an organization? So you'll see that when I show the calculation, Satish, this
Fair
is
enough.
Satish, right?
My last one before you proceed, and sorry for that, Mahendra. So
Yeah, good.
generally, this tracking will be done by product manager, right? So it is
This
nobody
done at
else,
the
or
product. This done at the product. So it once again depends on how your organization is set up. So I would say it is a product management and the business owner, that entire community. So they have to sit and have this. Yes, probably an RT can facilitate. He can explain all of these this technique and the underlying principles and things like that. And yes, it is for the product management team to decide, because that consists of all the product owners. So it is a product
okay.
management team which should be doing this.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Mahendra, Jyotirangan here again. I have one more
Yeah, Jyoti.
question. So,
Yeah.
example, portfolio 3, we have given the highest priority, or WSJF we have calculated. It's the preferred features. So, example, portfolio 3 is depending on, maybe something is depending on portfolio 1 or 2. So, how we are going to handle or resolve that?
Then if there's a dependency, then automatically that will arrive in a that will get reflected in your discussions when you do the discussions for business value or time criticality, risk management. Accordingly, it will come up, na. So you'll have to have those discussions. Based on that, you give a number. So if at all it happens so that 3 cannot be done before 1, then automatically the time criticality and the business value of 1 would be higher than 3, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So generally it so happens, see, that's why this is not done at the story level. So I would say, based on my experience so far, generally it doesn't happen that there is so much of dependencies at the epic level between one epic to the other epic, or there could be some dependency while we move to the feature level. While certainly when we go to the story level, there'll be a lot of dependencies.
So Mahindra, can I ask one question, please?
Yeah.
Sri Nagesh here. What you're saying, assumption is that like epic level, we should have a independent epics. Is that his assumption?
Generally it is so. I have not seen otherwise. Niladri, you might want to add.
So
Because epic,
when you are saying epic level, you mainly talking about the portfolio level in safe construct, right? Hello, who was that asking?
Sri
Yes,
Nagesh.
Neela, yes.
Yeah, so portfolio items, there can be 2 items at portfolio. One can be epic, another can be portfolio enablers. There are 2 items we used to have at epic level. So when we're talking about epic, we are talking about portfolio levels only.
Yeah, the question is, Sri Nagesh. So Niladri, Sri Nagesh was telling, what are the chances of dependencies between 2 epics and each other getting into each other's way? So for that, my answer was, because it's at a very high level. See, what is
Yeah.
an epic? So epic is moving to cloud, and the other epic is probably moving into another geography.
Right. So those are actually kind of, you can think of different strategies of the organizations, or a very high level, very high level, very less chances there are dependencies. Now it's all depends how you have visualize your visions and then distributing into multiple epics. So you're maybe having one visions to creating an e-commerce app for a Middle East region, and the similar you will be creating, your construction may be same in an infrastructure area, but your logics will be different for American market. So there are few areas which will go into a common area. So you may have enablers that will create the architectural that can be consumed by both them, but the functionality, look and feel, language, everything may different, and the dependencies will not be there. And there may be possibilities on a technical ways, architectural dependencies will be there. So it's all depends. There is no formula that there may be dependencies, there may not be dependencies.
Makes sense. But when it comes to program level, Mahindra and Niladri, when it comes to program level, program increment planning, one of the input to program increment planning is all 10 product owners, they will do WSJF and get prioritization. So the prioritization order, the 10 features, is the same thing to get all the 10 top prioritization features. They would have done this WSJF, only then they will get.
Yeah, ideally they should have.
See, ideally, when you're talking about top 10 features, it's not exactly the top 10 feature. It may be top 10, top 9, or top 12. So what happen is, in your program backlog, you will be having multiple different features. And it's not necessary that you will be picking all those features. You will be having all the WSJ values. Something is 3, something is 5, something is 7, something is 2. You will do a sorting based on the highest WSJ at the top. And whatever you do a descending order by the WSJF value, and whatever is coming up in the top based on the team's capacity, how many team size they have, if they have in their PI only 5 teams or 7 teams or 10 teams, they will pick the top 10 features. And that number that you are looking at, this will be coming from the value from the WSJF calculate. So you may have 50 items have the WSJF value, but you will be picking the first 10. By the time they will be executing this PI, there are new items coming to the features. There are new estimations will happen, and they will take their order in the top 10 features list accordingly. And that will be used on the next PI.
Sure. Correct. Thanks, Neela. That's Mahindra.
Sure.
Okay, so now let's see. I'll just share an Excel spreadsheet. So as I mentioned earlier, so while I was talking about this topic, characterizations, I just mentioned you choose the highest score first. So what? So what will happen if I don't choose the highest? So that is a question that probably we should ask for ourselves. That is something that I have explained mathematically. So let me just pull up the Excel spreadsheet which I've created. You can see my screen, Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what I have done here is I've just simplified it a bit further. So, and I've given a dollar value so that it sinks in. And I've used job size as months so that it sinks in. So it is just to explain the concept of why we should choose the highest number first. So for example, portfolio item A, B, C, this will take 2 months to execute. And the cost of delay for this is 1,500 per month. It means to say that if I implement it after 2 months, my cost that the company will incur for delaying it is $1,500. So that is what, and once again I repeat, I'm just using absolute numbers as dollars so that it sinks in. Likewise, portfolio item B, it takes 5 months to execute this, and the cost of delay is $1,000 per month. And C is, it takes 7 months to execute, and the cost of delay is $5,000 per month. And as you see, the WSJF is cost of delay divided by duration. So the WSJF for A is 750. Once again, I'm giving a dollar value so that it sinks in. 750, 200, and 714. So technically speaking, or by definition, we should choose A, C, B. We should do it in that order. So for us to execute all of this, there could be the 6 options are there. Either you do A, B, C, C, B, A, B, C, A, and all that permutation combination that you can apply. Based on the number that we have seen, we should be doing A, C, B. I'll take a pause for any questions. Just staying with this section. While if there is any clarification, I'll explain. Otherwise, I'll explain how I've done this Excel.
One question, Mahindra.
Yeah.
So the row number 3, portfolio item A. At one end, we are saying the duration of the job size is 2 months, and also we are saying that the cost of delay is $1,500 per month. Now, the dollar value of 750, that will be on an average incurred per month for 2 months. That's how we.
No.
Okay.
No. So once again, sorry, I've just given dollar value so that
No, that's okay.
the series. So this is WSJF. This need not be a dollar value. This can be just a number.
All right, got it.
This can be just a number. So this number is 750, 714, and 200. Okay. So I've given dollar value so that the seriousness sinks in, Nitesh. Just it.
Thanks.
Okay. So now let me explain just one. What is the cumulative cost of delay? So I'll explain one section. The similar thing will apply to all other sections. Let's assume that we as an organization decide that we will do in the order of B, C, A. First we will do B. So while we are working on B, what are the cost of delays that will be there? There will be a cost of delay for all the 3 items, right? A, B, C. All the 3 items will incur a cost of delay. So is just concentrate on the formula over here. So for item A, so B is being worked upon, right? So 5 months it will take for B to complete. So what is the cost of delay for item A? 1500 into 5. What is the cost of delay for item number B? 1000 into 5. What is the cost of delay for item number C? 5000 into 5. Am I right? Any doubts? No doubts, right? Very simple. Now item number B is done. What is the order that we chose? We'll do item number C next. So while C is being worked upon, you incur a cost of delay on both C itself and A because B is already done. Now see the formula. What is the cost of delay on A? Is 1500 into 7 months because it is $1,500 per month. So 7 months is the duration for which I will, C will take to complete. 1500 into 7, and for C itself 5000 into 7. So while C is being worked upon, the cost of delay for the company is 45,500. Any questions? Okay.
But delay will always be calculated once it is after the job size, right? Month. If we couldn't able to complete it job size, then only will incur that cost of delay, right?
No. See,
or from this inception itself, we are calculating that cost of delay itself.
See, while C started working, you started going from point A to point B. For you to reach from point A to point B, you incur some cost on that itself. That is what I'm trying to tell. So while C is being worked upon, it is still not completed, right? So there's a cost of delay.
Okay. So from the day one, we'll calculate that. Means we'll consider that cost of delay.
So C is taking 7 months to complete. Only after 7 months. So till 7 months, you have a cost, right? Which is 5,000 for C itself.
Okay.
Got it, right? So anyway, A is waiting in the queue, which is waiting for 7 months. For each month, A will incur $1,500. So 1,500 into 7, because C will take 7 months to complete. C himself takes 7 months to complete, right? So the cost of delay is already $5,000 per month for C itself. So 5,000 into 7.
Okay.
Am I right? Got it, right?
Yeah. My understanding was that will have some means that delay, cost of delay, right? So it will be if you couldn't able to complete, but yeah, what are the in between that from beginning to end, right? So what will be the cost? It will be considered into that as a say budget for that particular portfolio item B.
Keep it very simple.
Okay.
So this is Sandeep, right?
Yes, Mahendra.
Yeah. So keep it very simple, Sandeep. So let's assume that you have an idea to start a restaurant. For you to start a restaurant, it will take 6 months. And the cost of delay, every month you incur 1,000 rupees loss. Or if you start it for every month you delay, you take 1,000 rupees is your cost of delay. But you can start it only after 6 months. What is that cost of delay? 6,000, right? Because you can start only after 6 months. That is what is this.
Okay.
So if you see this, it will come out very clearly. Now you have completed work on B and C. Only A is yet to be completed. It takes 2 months to complete A. What is the cost of delay for A per month? Is 1,500, right? So 1,500 into 2 is 3,000. This is what you were asking, right, Sandeep?
Right. Yeah.
So I've explained for one section. The same applies to all. If we do it in the order BCA, ABC, CAB, CBA, BAC, ACB, whatever. Now, if you see, this is where it becomes easy to explain each one of those stakeholders of A, B, C. A has got one stakeholder, B has got another, C has got another stakeholder. Now, but we all belong to the same mother company, the same parent company. So the recommended order for implementation of these items is A, C, B. Where is A, C, B? So only if you do it in this order of A, C, B, the overall damage, I use the word damage, to the company is $62,000. You take any other order, it is more. Even if you take CBA, it is 62.5. Unfortunately, the person who's B has got the loudest voice, then is the C guy. If you choose this order BCA, the cost, the overall damage to the company is $86,000. If we had done it ACB, as a company, we could have incurred only $62,000. This is how we can bring in a negotiation or get them to the talking table that boss, yes, B is the loudest person, next loudest is C. But if you do this order, the overall damage to the company is much, much higher than if we had done it in ACB. This is how, so you choose any other combination, you have got um, the damage to the company is more. Now, just to show, I'll just change some numbers so that we'll see. Now it is what ACB, right? So let's try to get some other combination. So it's still ACB. I'm just trying to change some numbers here and there. Still ACB.
Your cost of delay for C is too high. That's why it will be always low.
When you increase the A item, the CAB was the lowest cumulative COD.
Now it is still ACB. So I'm just trying to see if I can get a combination. See, now the recommended combination is ABC. Where is ABC? So only if you do it in ABC, you got the least damage to the company, which is 63,500. You choose any other combination, it is more than 63,500. Correct? Any clarifications? So this is how you will be able to negotiate and bring all of them to a talking terms between these three stakeholders of A, B, C portfolio, the owners of these. Because as a company, we will be better off if we do it in the order which is suggested by WSGF. Otherwise, as a company, we are going to lose. That is what we can explain. Make sense?
Yes, Mahendra. Can I ask one question, please?
Yeah, good.
Maybe related to this or not, I do not know. Maybe you can answer now or a little later. Please, look into that. If you look at the team level program backlog refinement meeting we do estimation, reprioritization, all those things we do, prioritization, reprioritization and all at a team level backlog refinement. So accordingly at a program level and epic level, if you have to do backlog refinement, what all are the best things to do, Mahindra? Backlog refinement at a feature level and epic level?
Yeah, so when you say backlog refinement, basically it is the homework that the business owners, the product management team will have to do at their, and you have got the epic owners. So these are the people which will have to do their homework and come, and they can involve the relevant stakeholders that they feel appropriate. It could be the solution architects, it could be the market people, it depends on them. So that's why you have this epic owners out there who are supposed to do that groundwork, Sri Nagesh. Niladri, you might want to add?
No, that's I think perfectly fine.
Did that
So, so,
explain Nagesh, Sri Nagesh?
so anything like whatever you just explained so nicely. Now you gave a wonderful explanation. Things are very clear to me conceptually. This kind of at a program level, feature level, WSJF calculations, clarifications, brainstorming among 10 product owners or managers or product managers or architects and all. So this also comes under refinement process only at a
Yeah,
program
yeah,
level.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
So
think
see,
Srinagar is sorry.
yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead,
Mahendra,
go ahead. Someone
continue.
wanted to, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Srinagar is the question what you are asking is how to prioritize at the feature level and story level, or because you are using that refinement, then maybe answer is towards the refinement. Whereas if you are comparing with WSJF, is your question related to the prioritization or
Correct.
refinement?
At a program level, at a feature level, where if we wanted to do refinement, this whatever Mahendra explained, this WSF clarifications, is this also part of the refinement at a program level?
I think Mahendra was mentioning that doing it at program level maybe or at team level it will be overkilling.
No. What Sri Nagesh is suggesting is we should be doing at the program level, not at the team level. That's what Sri
Oh,
Nagesh is
okay.
telling Rudra. So that's
Correct,
what.
correct.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sri
okay.
Nagesh. So what you're telling is right. So we will have to. When I say we as an organization, the product management team, the Epic owners. So that's why the product management team is there. So they will have to figure out when do we actually do it. So what is the right occasion? So it relates to the previous question that you asked. It has got no correlation to the PA planning schedule or the team schedule and things like that. So because it is at an epic level. So when all the epic owners get together and they have to have this discussion, this is a technique that can be used, which is more scientific and which has got all the aspects to it. It has got business value, it has got time criticality, it has got opportunity element, it has got duration also. So it is just not on only one number. So generally now that's the reason why I asked. So someone told stack ranking. How do we do stack ranking? Okay, someone says this is a priority one, that becomes a priority one. And how do we do Moscow? Okay, this is must have, this is should have, this could have. Yes, it is a good technique, but does it consider all the elements that should go into prioritization? That is a question that we need to ask. See, as you see, if you get into the bit more detail, there could be one item which is very, very critical, but of low business value. But the other one, you got a element of duration also. So we'll have to consider all of these aspects while we come up with the the prioritization. That is why this technique is more scientific than the other ones. Yes, when you do it, it's left to the organization, the most appropriate time. So when we have the features, when you have got all the epics at our disposal, all the features are at our disposal, you use this technique. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, I think either we are done. Niladri, anything you wanted to add?
No, I think we covered it. WSJF, though it's not a very big, but the concept is very crucial to understand. But it's a small concept, and once you understood it, you will be start able to apply it or help your organization applying it.
So,
So,
a couple.
Mahindra.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, Nagesh.
Nagesh, so do you recommend at a epic level or feature program level, all these 10 product owners and product managers or architects together, they need to do this? Do you recommend around 30 minutes to complete this or 1 hour to complete this? What is the recommended time for this?
It depends on the topic at hand, the portfolio items at hand. So generally, any meeting which is more than 2-3 hours will get will not be more will not be fruitful. So you can have a time boxed this thing. You can go outcome based. So and you as a RT should have to facilitate that discussion. And at some point of time, someone has to call out Elmo, enough, let's move on, type of a thing. So there's no prescribed thing as far as I know, Sri Nagesh.
Okay, got it,
It's
Mahindra.
sheer common sense that we will have to, depends upon how much of clarity is there. So maybe, okay, I think we don't have enough of clarity. Let's probably reconvene after 1 week when we get more clarity on these items. So be it.
Sure, makes sense.
In fact, rather, I would say, if we have set up a meeting for 3 hours, and if in the first hour itself we figure out that we don't have enough of clarity and let's call it off, then we have applied fail fast, fail cheap over there. Yes, it is good that we have failed this. We as a team have failed to come to an agreement on the prioritization of these features. So let's all give our commitment and let's reconvene after 1 week with more details. It's good. Fail fast, fail cheap.
Mahendra, Nitesh here. So pretty much this is something which is being considered in the initial runs during the design or those particular phases. That's being facilitated by RT and product managers to an extent, right? Because pretty much this is the key parameter to, what do you say, promote the next phase of actions, right? Or is it something different there?
If I can rephrase your question, so what you're telling is the prioritization of these features and epics are happening amongst the product owners at the product management and the epic owners level, while all the team members and the last person in the team is not involved.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
you are
okay.
right. You are right. So
Because
it is at a much more higher level wherein you as an organization are defining the roadmap for your product, the visioning based on these features and all of this. While all of the team members might not be involved, but yes, it depends upon the epic owners and the business owners. If so and so person from the team or so and so architect who's been in the system for such a long time, he or she can add value to the discussion, involve him.
yeah, because pretty much most of the things in terms of such, what do you say, timelines or frame lines or costing, they are pretty much at the, what do you say, strategic or business level
Yeah,
only. So,
it's at a higher level.
right,
Yeah,
knowing
right.
knowing this is okay, but not that explicit, which will be practiced in daily basis, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. I think, Mahendra, do you have any other slides that you want to
No, this is
cover?
we are done. We are done. This is the last
Yeah.
slide.
So probably we can talk about what we will be covering in the next one. So next one we will be having most probably on 3rd of July. and that time we are trying to cover PI planning. So let's see how does that goes. We need to do lots of preparations for that. So as of now, we are targeting 3rd of July. Let's see.
Niladri, I have one question. This is Jyoti here. So this template, whatever WSJF template can I get it from this safe side, or maybe download it somewhere, or it is very much
see, there is nothing about the template, right? If you understand the concept that A plus B plus C divided by E, then you will able to make it. So there is no template as such you need. So you can see, you can create a easy formula, make 3 columns for your 3 areas, like your business value, time criticality, opportunity enablement, and risk reductions. Then you sum them up in another column. Then another columns you just have the cost of delay. Divide it with that, you'll get your WSJF. That's all.
So this is the one that you are referring to. I'm just sharing my screen. So this is the one. So it is just so this is Excel, simple Excel.
Yeah, it's simple. Yeah.
Simple. The one that I showed was to prove the point that WSJF should be.
No, I was talking about the calculator.
This calculator, is it?
Not this one, the another one.
Yeah, that was, I think, is to make you understand. You will not be able to use it. So this is for a learning purpose at different scenarios.
Okay.
It's just to explain the concept that if you choose any other order, then you are doing more damage to the organization. Just to prove that concept. So just to prove that concept.
Okay. All right. I think
if there's no other questions, I think we can adjourn.
Yeah, we can wind it up now today, and thank you everyone for taking your time to participating. As more people participates, we get more into on doing this kind of webinars, and the questions you are asking, it also gives the other peoples to learning, and it also a learning opportunity for ourselves as well. Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks a lot, Mahendra and Niladri. Fantastic. Excellent session today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mahendra. Thanks, Niladri.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Bye for now. Stay safe. Bye.